Wrong tab. Oh my god, Alistair, you're here. It's time for another day of strem. My good golly gracious, Stanley. Let me get this started here. Here's my game going. Alright. Yeah, the description is amazing. Yeah, I love the meta stream description. Yeah. The bucket parable, of course. It's the only game worth playing. This game acts a little bit weird on my computer. Come on. There we go. It wants me to enter the current time again. Alright. That's interesting. Yeah. Well, right now it's other way. Yes. Okay. Hanging on. Before we get started, can I just say something? Sure. Thank you for actually setting the clock both times you've booted up the game. You're welcome. A lot of people don't take that step seriously. They just leave the clock set at 12 and call it a day. Alright. Well, whatever here. Hello, guy. Welcome. But you're actually taking the time to set the clock, and I appreciate that. Yeah. That's how I know that you care about this experience. You're paying attention. I don't even have any way of knowing if the times you're setting are correct. Tell you what, I'll make you a deal. Since you've been so cooperative, next time you boot up the game and see the screen, just set the clock to your favorite time. Alright? Go ahead, pick whichever time you want, even if it's not the correct time. You've earned it. Oh, well, you're well. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Alright, I'll let you get back to the video game now. Thank you, whoever you are. Well, welcome back, everybody, to the Stanley Parable 2. If this is unexpected to you, then you weren't in the last stream, and I'm not going to elaborate. So, as we all know, the Stanley Parable 2...
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Well, just to recap.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Oh, I just got an achievement. Welcome back. So, as we all know from the previous stream, the Stanley Parable 2 is exactly the same as the Stanley Parable 1, with the exception of the changes that the narrator has decided to make, such as the opposite of my balloon choice.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps
and
he had
also,
simply missed a memo.
every ending now has a bucket ending variant, wherein you pick up and carry a bucket to every ending.
Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him.
The bucket looks different. Looks a little more shabby. So I believe the last thing I did was almost get to the door. Right? Is that what happened? I need to remember exactly how I got to that ending, because I don't want to get to that again by accident. Yeah, I went full defiance last time. I need to remember exactly when it redirected me into that bucket quiz. One moment. Okay, I see. Right, I didn't even get to the red and blue doors. It just, yeah. I jumped off the crane and it didn't even let me get to the red and blue doors. Yeah, it was a no bucket zone. All right, let's go full cooperation this time.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Oh God, I love this bucket. You'll shield me from all of the existential feelings I'll get from this game.
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever.
God, I love
Perhaps
this bucket.
his boss's office was where he'd find answers.
Ooh.
Oh, Stanley, can you feel it?
Yeah.
The broom closet. It
It's
wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you?
What?
The aura
What?
of jealousy.
No.
It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket.
You fuckers!
I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet.
No.
That's what the broom closet is trying to say here.
You can't have it!
Just to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in.
I won't
Don't
give in.
hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now.
Oh,
You
this
have to be
fucking broom
strong.
closet.
This is your bucket. This is your companion and lifelong friend.
Yes!
You can't hand it over. Oh, no. We're getting into name-calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk, that it
You
has to
piece of
resort
shit.
to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket?
It's mine!
Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait, now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends? That your
How dare
relationship
you!
is purely
I used to
superficial
love
and
you, broom
convenient?
closet.
That your life is so banal and meaningless that you'd feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner? Well, I never. Go on,
You son of a
Stanley.
bitch.
Lay into it.
You piece of
Really
shit.
tell the broom closet off for its demeaning comments.
I will not.
Expand on the
I will
wide
not be
variety of
betrayed
experiences
by the
you
fucking
and the
broom
bucket have
closet.
shared together. Go through each of them point by point. Share your journal entries detailing the rich emotional landscape of your feelings for the bucket as they have changed and evolved over the years. Let him have it.
You piece of shit. This bucket and I have been through so much shit, even when I lost my house, my dog, and my own foot. This
Okay,
bucket was
I've
here
got
for me.
you something which I think will help settle this debate once and for all. Here we go.
Ah.
There. Now it's settled.
This
No more
bucket is
debate,
mine.
No more discussion. Take a hike, broom closet, with all
You
your
fucking broom
meandering
closet.
philosophical diatribes about the nature of cleaning supplies and their relationship to broom closets in the natural
shit.
order of things.
Hold on a second. My stream's tanking. Why is my stream tanking? Stop it. Stop it. Is the stream... Are you guys noticing any problem with the stream right now? Or is it all right? Mild stream lag. Okay, I don't know why. I think there is a thunderstorm approaching me where I'm at right now, so that might be part of the problem. Let's go ahead and start. Okay. Oh, I'm in the green again. I'm in the green again. Okay. Okay, yeah. I think we're good. Okay. Piece of shit. This stupid ass broom. This bucket's mine now, you bitch.
All right, I've got a second sticker back here, and I'm going to slap it on as well because I think it's appropriate.
Okay.
You see?
Ah.
I feel that it works because the sticker is also a bucket.
That's true.
That way, if you're
We just
ever
went through this.
unsure whether
Everything's
the
a
thing you're
bucket.
holding is a bucket or not, you can look down at this sticker and say to yourself, it's a bucket.
It is a bucket.
There really is a wide variety of applications for this sticker.
Yeah. I wish I had my own bucket stickers. I'd put them on everything. Because everything's a bucket, you know?
You know what? I could take the name-calling and the dismissal of your kinship with the bucket, but now the broom closet is just giving us a silent treatment. And to be honest, I'm sick of the pettiness on display. You can stay here all you like, but I've had it with this impetulant room of cleaning supplies.
You know what?
Easily the most childish such room I've ever been in. I'll see you outside, and we can get on with the story about you and your bucket.
Good, okay. This piece of shit. Why didn't you say anything? Talk, you piece of shit. Gray wall ass, shelf having ass, mop bucket having ass. That's not even a good bucket. I hate you. Bye. Ugh. I didn't think I could be turned against the broom closet. Wait a minute. Did I just hear it say something? Did I just hear you say, you piece of shit? Alright, fine. Piece of shit, broom closet. I thought we were friends.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked
I thought we were
upstairs
friends,
to
broom
the
closet.
boss's office.
Executive bathroom. Nice. Oh, the figure! Fuck yeah!
You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
Is it different? Money in the morning, money in the evening, money for breakfast time. Money crisp. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I'm very curious about the escape pod ending, but we'll wait on it.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him always. The bucket would.
I love the bucket.
And he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the PIN number for the keypad was 2845. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along?
I bet it was.
Was the bucket guiding him?
The bucket is so smart.
Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
I mean, what other explanation would there be? Hello?
Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, you know, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini-stands? Stanley figs? What about Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that.
Stanlerines.
Another Stanlerine under your belt.
Wonderful. I feel more and more accomplished every time I pick one up. Alright, still nothing back here. Need to up my chair a little bit. There we go. Where we going, Bucket? You lead the way this time. I am but a vessel. An animatronic for which you are meant to guide.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
Everything will be fine. Oh, I can go back up, can't I? Is that possible in the normal game? Normally you can't do that, right? Is that new? I'm not going to do it at the moment, but is that new? This is okay. Going back up is new. Okay, I'll do that later. It's a new
Stanley and the
branch for
bucket
me.
walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Oh, here we are.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens.
Bucket, what do you think of all
horrible
this?
secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
There are 3 new non-bucket endings. Okay. They also have bucket versions. Oh, okay. Huh. Interesting.
The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears.
No,
as
Bucket, it's
Stanley
fine, it's
cradled
okay.
it gently,
It's okay.
reassuring it that everything would be fine.
Bucket, don't even worry about it, Bucket. I know it looks scary. I was scared the first time as well. I barfed.
Was the
But it's
bucket
okay.
under
I'll
the
never
mind
barf
control
into you, my
facility's
little bucket.
influence as
I'll
well?
never barf
Had
into
the
you.
bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't
No!
accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket. But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place.
Our best
And
and
as
only
the
friend.
cold reality of
So
his
are
past
the-
began to sink in,
Are the new
Stanley decided
are
that
the new
this
endings
machinery would
fairly
never
easy
again
to
exert
find?
its terrible power
'Cause I wouldn't have thought
over
to turn
another
around
human
unless
life.
I'd seen that chat.
For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. 2 best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They
you and me, Bucket.
high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket
Cool.
made a sassy comment about taking down the system.
Let's fucking do it. They're all hidden-ish. I can give hints if you like. Okay. We'll do that later. I want to run through all the. Now, so I assume there is more after this. Like, there's more stuff past the sequel part. Do I have to do something specific to move on from the sequel part? Or, like, can I basically freely explore? Will it be obvious when I move on? When I can move on? Figure it out? Okay, gotcha.
Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over?
Because I want to explore all this shit.
Yes, they had done it. Stanley and the
and
bucket
me,
had
Bucket.
defeated their greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly,
I mean,
the 2 of them began
I'm
to
not
discuss
assuming
the kind
anything.
of life they wanted to live. Once they stepped through this
I wouldn't be
massive door,
surprised if this actually
the
had,
bucket
like,
wanted to learn to roller skate.
several more hours
Stanley
of
wanted to
content.
sneeze in every country on Earth. Both
It's
of
like,
them
this thing
wanted
was
to
in
begin
development
watching
for a
movie, any
while.
movie, but then
Like, a
stop it
long
halfway
while.
through and begin watching it in reverse from the end. True, it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support, and to...
What?
What? Wait. What was happening? Why had the door stopped? Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed? An unbearable silence filled the room, lingering in uncertainty, until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave. Even the facility itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket, needed the soothing warmth of the bucket, would go to any lengths not to part with the bucket. No, no, no. Stanley can't leave this place. Not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms. Not while this building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room. But at least he has the bucket. To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
Oh, all right. Wow. Facility likes that bucket too much.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
At least we have
Stanley
the bucket,
decided
yes.
to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Beep.
The confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced the bucket.
We all love the bucket. Okay, so now
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to
let's
his
try
chest
for the confusion
and
ending.
entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
Oh yeah.
And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly
Bucket
was.
says so. Why not?
How insightful the bucket turned out to be.
Ah, it's so neat. This is such a neat room. All right.
No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back, and so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
All right, let's see what happens here now.
Oh, good, Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place
Oh.
eventually.
Oh, hi, line. Oh, the broom closet's here.
You see, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley.
Oh, wow.
We've
okay.
come together here because we care about you very much. It's this bucket you're carrying around everywhere. The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before.
Listen, I love the
Yes,
bucket.
I know
Fuck
I'm the
you.
one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line? We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, yes, that's what the fans want. Let's do it.
All right, but I'm not letting go of the fucking bucket. Okay, asses.
Whee! Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well.
Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah.
Now this is what the Stanley
all right.
Parable is all about. Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue? Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers. Yes, it's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up.
I think the bucket is an angel trying to save Stanley from many deaths and evil chaos, endless loop things. I think the bucket's a bucket. I also probably think the bucket might be a bucket. Yeah. I'm not giving up the bucket, ass. Bucket's my friend. I love Bucket.
Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket. That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer. I think it'll make a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it also was not in the original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me, it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree? Can you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does? Surely you don't need me to spell it out for you. Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready. Now listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the bucket destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait. Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters? Well, you see, if you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about? The broom closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this. Okay, the Bucket Destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the Bucket Destroyer until you crush that damn bucket. Quickly now, the fans are waiting. Do it, the fans, Stanley. Give the fans what they want. Hurry and...
Fuck you, Bucket Destroyer. You're a piece of shit.
The Bucket Destroyer, my prized creation. You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spellbinding stories about you. All of it squandered now. Goodbye, new friend.
I have zero
For the
sympathy.
moment in time that you were here, you were magnificent.
No, he was a piece of shit is what he was. Wanted to fucking eat my bucket. It's my bucket. You can't have it. Okay, let's feed it the bucket.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Well,
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Warmth spread through Stanley's arms. With the bucket in his arms again, he was home. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back, and so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door. Oh, good, Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually. You see, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley.
Move the truck!
We've come together here because we care about you very much. It's this bucket you're carrying around everywhere. The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line?
You know what I do?
We could
Let's
make
go.
the Adventure Line
Let's
go
fucking
somewhere
go.
new.
Pull
Yes,
out.
yes, that's
Pull
what
out,
the...
let's go.
Whee! Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well.
Oh, look, it's the lift.
Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about. Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue? Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers. It's as classic now as you want back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up. Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket. That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer.
Wow, he's got so much design and
I
personality.
think it'll make
Look
a
at him.
wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable.
It's got like
True, it
pistons
also was
and
not in the
crushers and
original game,
gears
but it's
and
such
fans.
a well-fleshed-out character with
got
so
little
much
lights.
personality that to me it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree?
Yeah. Let's fucking do it.
Can you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does?
I think it
Surely
destroys
you don't need me to
buckets.
spell it out for you. Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into
Wait.
the machine when you're ready.
Oh. Oh, Stanley doesn't want to do it. Holy shit, Stanley doesn't
Now
want to get rid of
listen
the
to
bucket.
me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket.
I'm
I
trying
don't
to give
know
it
what
the
the
bucket.
Destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its
Okay,
singular
I thought that was a
personality
choice,
trait.
but okay, it just
Sure,
this
I
just
can
happens
hear
no
you
matter
saying,
what.
How does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable
He's
characters?
actually
Well,
refusing.
you see,
That's
if you were
hilarious.
to really explore the bucket destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about? The broom closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort
The
of
broom
bucket
closet?
destroyer
Certainly
merchandise
not.
the fans will be clamoring for after this. Okay, the bucket destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the...
Okay, we'll go ahead and start again. I was expecting to just not have a choice. Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Let's go back to the
What
right
could it
path,
mean?
and we
Stanley
will...
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps
Since it cuts me off
Stanley
before I
picked
can
up
get to the
bucket
red and
and
blue
smiled.
doors,
He'd
I'll
never
just
be
continue
alone
along
again. Not
the
truly
elevator.
alone. Not with the bucket
path.
around. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this... No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
But Stanley feared that any path he walked might lead to the separation of himself and the bucket, his dearest friend. So he threw himself to his death, that they might die in one another's arms. How deeply touching.
Me and the bucket, together forever.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Thank you for popping in, Cyborg.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. The good old bucket. Just Stanley and the bucket. Off on another thrilling adventure together.
Woo!
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Good,
Said the bucket.
now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did
All
not
right.
question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose
this is
not to
completely
think
normal.
about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that
It
the
does
bucket
sound like a
had
Thomas the Tank
spoken
Engine
to him,
character, yeah.
and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
In here.
Said the bucket.
Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Oh, it does look pretty dark. You sure about this bucket? All right. Ooh.
Now pick up the phone.
Said the bucket.
Oh, can I
Pick
still
up the
unplug it?
phone, and it will take us back home, where we can go about life together.
All right, I'll go ahead and do this first. I'll come back and try to unplug it later. Hello, Title Mud. How you doing?
This is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket. Once upon a time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him.
Oh, hello, Bucket. How you doing today? Press H to take me to work with you. Okay.
The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley
very
is
good.
hearing the bucket say to him is just in
dang.
his head.
Press R to take me back home with you. Oh, okay.
Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well? To see him delusional like this, obsessing over an inanimate metal object? I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me. Oh, I'll try anyway. Stanley?
Of course.
Can you hear me? Listen to me. It's just a bucket. It can't think, it can't talk. All it will ever truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid from one location to a different location. That's it. It
No,
doesn't do anything else.
It can move dirt and gravel and sand. You can make a little castle with it. Fucking dude. You don't even know all the uses a bucket have. It can be a drum. Don't listen to the loud man. Okay.
You see, he's not listening. He's still taking orders from the bucket. You know, once upon a time it was me he took orders from. Me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is his awful bucket. This stupid hunk of metal.
Mud? I could definitely carry mud. Or anyone in your life except for me. Oh, alright.
It's sad. I suppose he doesn't need me anymore. From now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket, this sort of shiny bucket. Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine to it.
I know, right? You believe I'm real, don't you, Stanley? Yeah, let's go back home.
Yes, I suppose on closer inspection that it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store bucket. It's just a little more, what am I trying to say?
It's mine.
Sturdier. More capable of transporting liquid.
I mean, you're
like
right.
it would be better at moving an amount of water from one room to another.
I don't even know what a chat is. Okay.
Oh my God, what am I saying? Better at carrying water from room to room. It's a bucket. It's literally just a bucket. Why do I feel some need to point out the ways in which it's so much more than just a regular bucket?
Go home to work, to home, to work, to home.
Oh no. I'm having feelings. For the bucket. No. What's going on? Why do I want to be with the bucket? Hear what the bucket has to say. Do anything it asks. What's wrong with me? I don't understand. Perhaps if I had the bucket, this would be less confusing. Yes. The bucket could tell me what to do in this troublesome situation.
Wow.
Stanley, give me the bucket. Give it to me. Give me the bucket, Stanley. I need it. Give it to me now.
No.
Give it or I'll...
Okay. I wasn't expecting that last room.
How long
God
was
dang.
he sitting there? Stanley wondered to himself. Minutes? Days? Centuries? Did something crucial happen while my
Where are we going today? The bucket asked. Stanley just smiled. Anywhere they went together would be perfectly fine with him.
Let me see if this has a new outcome if I've got the bucket with me.
Yes, whispered the bucket into Stanley's ear.
Yes, we've done it. We've escaped from that dull office and that pesky narrator. At last, out here in the white void, we are alone. Now, and for the first time, I can reveal to you my true self.
What are you?
The bucket began to tell Stanley of its life and its history, of the countless wars it witnessed, desecrating the land and lives of untold numbers of innocent humans, and the bucket's own complicity therein, of sadness and regret, and the many years it spent dwelling on the actions it might have taken to curb the madness and the decay, if only it had been stronger,
If only.
of hope and redemption, and its crusade to uplift the stock of life for the common man, to manifest justice where none existed, and the bittersweet reality of time, to see one's dreams and wishes met halfway, meted out in parcels like charity, and abandoned as soon as the warm glow of inspiration begins to dim. The
A beautiful
opportunities to
story.
do so much more. There was so much it could have done, perhaps, the bucket wondered to itself. Perhaps if it had seen its own darkness with a clearer perception.
It's like that
This
cat
was
in
way
Rick and
too
Morty.
much for Stanley.
What are you talking about?
He screamed.
You're a bucket?
To this, the bucket furrowed its brow.
No,
Said the bucket.
not since the evil wizard Gambhorata first ensnared me in his machinations as payback for the sacred amulet I stole from his treasured vaults. I was young back then and could not conceive the ramifications of... No!
Stanley screamed even louder this time.
This is stupid! You are a bucket! This is so stupid! Why are we even doing this? As Stanley screamed and screamed and screamed, the bucket revealed its true
What?
form, transforming into a mighty beast of untold power, its fangs glistening like... My God, Stanley, you did it. You saved us from the bucket. Thank God you already had
I fucking
all
did it.
12 emblems of sages and knew the incantations to summon their true power. Otherwise, we would have easily been overwhelmed by the bucket's power. I'm speechless. You've demonstrated such bravery here today. Come, let's restart the game.
Okay.
And we'll agree to never again go trifling with this bucket, nor the dark magic cast away inside of it.
Whew. I love this game. I'm so glad they decided to do this.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. A good bucket, a strong bucket, a humble bucket,
Humble
a
bucket.
committed bucket, a bucket of culture and distinction.
Best bucket is what I hear you saying. Okay.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest.
All right, I'm gonna try to
and
unplug
entered
the phone.
door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong.
Will door 430 achievement
Stanley
changes?
took the door on his
I'll try it
left
out.
to go back to the meeting room.
Why not unplug the bucket?
No, said the bucket. Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go. Good, said the bucket. Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do. Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked. In here, said the bucket. Go into this dark room over here.
Okay.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
It was actually just the phone of a friend who wants to be
Now
a
pick up
millionaire.
the phone, said the bucket. Whoa, hold on. Why did you unplug the phone? Were you trying to resist the bucket's orders? Stanley, I was joking. Obviously, the bucket isn't talking to you and telling you to do things. Buckets can't talk.
It was
a
being
joke.
threatening.
Don't you get the joke? It's funny, Stanley. A talking bucket.
I mean, I guess it is kind of funny.
Can't you see? Oh, goodness. I must have really bungled up the delivery if you actually took me seriously. Where did
I
miss
thought
the
I was in
joke?
danger.
Should I have paused for longer or spoken quicker? Comedic timing is so difficult. I wish I were better at it. But there isn't exactly an instructional video on comedy that one can watch
no,
to fully...
sis-
Oh, wait, yes, there is.
Yes, give me
it's
another.
sitting right here.
Give
Let's
me
take
another
a look.
instructional video. Yeah.
What is comedic timing? What is comedic timing? How does it work? How long should it last? How can it be used to effectively silence your political enemies? And more importantly, can it be taught in its entirety within 90 seconds?
Oh, ideally.
Thankfully, the answer to all of these questions is yes.
No
Let's
way.
dive deeper.
Oh,
If you've ever told a joke or made someone laugh, in
Yeah,
all likelihood,
yeah.
you did it while standing 50 to 80 centimeters from them in a
Most
room
likely,
of no more
yeah.
than 76 degrees Fahrenheit, with one of your arms raised straight upward at a 15-degree angle from your body.
I don't know if I've ever
These
done
are
that.
the optimal conditions for good comedic timing. To begin the
Okay.
joke, start by stating and spelling your name. Next, provide a brief synopsis of the joke, including the specific times at which the recipient of the joke will laugh, and then spell out your name a second time. With these steps complete, it's time to begin the humor.
Okay, all right.
Speak the entire joke in no more than 18 seconds and no less than 13 and a half,
I don't know how this
pausing
would work
only
with
for
Twitch chat.
bathroom breaks when necessary. When the joke has concluded, it is customary to inform your listener that the joke is over by declaring in your loudest possible voice,
Okay.
"I'm Dunny with the funny." Let's practice screaming, "I'm Dunny with the funny" now.
Okay. I'm Dunny with the funny. I'm Dunny
Good.
with the funny.
This saying is a perfect example of expectations management, which is the
Hope you're all
cornerstone
practicing
of
with
good
me.
comedy. Finally, it's time to hand out surveys. Collecting hard data from your audience on how rapt they were throughout the joke is the only way to grow or learn as a comedian. An effective survey should be no less than 10 pages long and should include the same question reprinted several times, just to ensure the survey taker
Hard
is actually
data.
paying attention and not simply filling in
Kevin
answers
has a little
at
bit of a
random.
hard time
And that's
snapping
all there
completely
is.
out of his British
With these
accent
strategies
when
at
he does
your
an American one.
disposal, you'll have audiences
But it
doubled
adds
over in
to the
laughter
fun.
and even tripled over in laughter in no time at all.
Tripled
Just
over.
remember to let them stop laughing at some point, you gut-busting little scamp. After all, we're each of us needed on the front lines of the war to fight the 12-legged invaders who threaten our very
all right.
existence and who very likely die in a hailstorm of bullets and mandibles.
Okay.
All of us must be prepared to give our lives to this noble cause.
I'm ready.
Just as our children must do after us. And
Contact
their
Aperture
children
Science.
after them.
Like, we got lots of people
Godspeed,
good
and
at
may
fighting
Earth
Mantis Men.
reign supreme.
All right.
Hey, goodness, this video is a little outdated, isn't it?
Yeah,
well, no
just
matter.
slightly, I think.
the fundamentals of proper comedic timing are still as relevant today as they were back then. So with that in mind, I believe the only way forward is for us to return to the two doors and walk through all of this again, so I can try telling my story with more appropriate comedic delivery. Come
All right,
along,
okay.
let's head back.
All right, let's go. I hope you learned well. My bucket sticker is gone. I'm very upset.
I can feel it. This time,
Yeah.
I'm really going to nail the delivery. You'll
believe
be
in
in
you.
stitches. A talking bucket, you'll say? How
Oh.
ridiculous. How absurd. What a
Oh.
hilarious concept. The king of comedy. That's what you'll call me. Thank goodness we had the instruction.
I have very high expectations
Otherwise,
for
who
you.
knows where we'd be right now?
I
But
don't
I
even
wouldn't
know.
be the king of comedy, that's for sure.
Definitely
The
not.
bucket spoke to Stanley. The bucket spoke. The bucket spoke. Oh, I'll figure it out on the fly. No need
You
to
got it. You got
overthink
this. I
things.
believe in you. You're good. You good. Don't even worry about it. It's gonna be a good time. My expectations are so high they hit an energy overflow and are the lowest possible expectations.
Here we go. You
All right.
ready?
All right. Give it your
When
best shot.
Stanley and the bucket came to a set of two open doors, they entered the door on the left.
It is actually letting me choose. Okay. Let's go this way. Oh. Dark room.
What? We're back at the phone already? No. What's going on? There was supposed to be several rooms leading up to this. There was supposed to be a build-up to this point. A dramatic display of remarkable comedic wit which culminates in this scene with the phone. But now the timing's completely off. The joke will never land. Well, not the way it was meant to. And it's all my fault. I must have forgotten that the phone room comes immediately
Welcome back,
after the
Snake.
two doors room. What an egregious mistake.
Yeah.
I've made a fool of myself. I don't deserve the title of King of Comedy. I'm nothing. I'm not even the lowliest joke-telling whelp. I think I need to go back and rewatch that instructional video again. Yes, surely that will help me improve my...
Whoop.
Here we go. You ready? When Stanley
Okay.
and the bucket came to a set of two open doors, they entered the door on the left. No. You were supposed to go through the door on the right, leading back to the phone. Did you not even look at the instructional video? I think this is all covered very clearly. There's no way I can make the comedic timing work now. It's done. The joke is completely done and over. It's all your fault, Stanley. I'm going to be ridiculed in the community of other joke writers. I'm going to be shamed at every one of our meetings from now on. All because you couldn't watch a simple video and take a hint. Are you proud of
That's
yourself
not my
for
fault,
bringing
that's
me
your
down,
fault.
Stanley? Are you proud?
Stanley, you love the bucket so much it's like you... it's as though all of your other most prized possessions pale in comparison. Yes.
Huh.
Let me
That was
try
a good
again,
one.
Stanley. I heard that you are pale with shame over how unabashedly in love with a bucket you are. No? Still not? Is it the delivery? Pale with shame. Pale with shame? Pale... What's another word to describe a bucket? Stanley, this bucket is so metal.
Tub?
I think I saw it playing guitar. No. We're getting away from making fun of Stanley's obsession with the bucket,
that's
which
about
is
it.
the whole point of this. I'm no good at these jokes. I need more instructional videos. That's exactly what it is. That's what will make me the king of comedy.
He's the most
again.
comedic person I've
More
ever heard of
instructional
at this point.
videos.
It's great.
Let's see.
That is distinctly not as sad as the true ending tends to be.
Good morning. Thank you for contacting the Future Happiness Foundation. We are confirming your shipment of 1,327 cardboard boxes to your place of work. Can you verify that this is correct? Excellent. Your order will arrive shortly. Thank you again for contacting the Future Happiness Foundation.
Oh, you're welcome. All right, good to see that box order made it through. This was good.
Yep. The embrace of
Oh,
an
it does.
old
Of course
friend.
it does. Right.
A weathered companionship that stands the test of time. Stanley
Okay.
clutched the bucket tightly to his chest
through again.
and entered the door on his left.
Let's go for the escape pod. I can't imagine exactly how the escape pod ending will change. 'Cause what the fuck? There will be a reward for finding them all? Oh! Trust the completionist instinct. Small floating objects have appeared across the office. We have to synergize our resources and ensure the retrieval. There are many questions. Oh! Oh, damn. Oh. I was told that there was no reward. What the fuck? What the fuck, bro? We gotta find them. We gotta find all of them. I love them so much. I want to go home. Oh, man. Follow clues provided by employee 416? Okay, 416 has got clues. 416 has got clues. I'll look out for 416's office. Ooh.
Stanley, we must move on from this broom closet, simply because I have no remaining stickers. If I did, you can guarantee we'd be in here for hours. But alas, no stickers.
I was hoping. You know, I was really hoping. You know, part of me doesn't believe you, I'll be honest. I think you've got secret stickers. He's not lying, is he? All right.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Hello, I really like memes. Welcome back. All right, here we go. Just making sure. Okay.
Stepping in,
All right, here we go. You and me, bucket. You and me. You and me. 416. Also need to do this ending again. 416. 416. Employee 416. Oh. Okay. Do. So far, it's not particularly different. 416. Okay, he's over here. 413. 416. Okay, so this is maybe that door opens now. Next time on another loop, I will make sure to pay attention to that. There better be a fucking reward, I swear. I was promised a reward. Tell you what, before we continue this, I gotta run to the restroom real quick. open my filters. Open them, open them, open them. There we go. Whoop. I'll be right back. Okay, we back. Oh, that's right, we back. La, 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 la. Yeah, bucket endings and collectibles, it's about where we are. All right. Oh, I just remembered. I need to get the bucket and go back to my office and shut the door. Well, this is feeling surprisingly samey so far. But this time me and the bucket will escape. I get them if you're struggling? Okay, gotcha. The mentioned 416 has hints, so I'm at least gonna try to open 416's office. Do-do-do-do. Goes boom boom. Kacha. Whoa. Yow. Yow. Dun 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 dun. Whoa 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 whoa. No. I don't think it's possible to know based on that. What, is that carpet that I'm walking on? It's a little weird. The bucket will be set free. Shh, now. Shh. I always loved you, Bucket. Goodbye, dear friend. Goodbye. Funny.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could
Oh,
it
the
mean?
boxes are here. Hell yeah.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Wait, is it not possible to lock yourself in the... What? Bucket? Bucket! Bucket! Bucket, where are you? Huh. Bucket? Bucket? Bucket?
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll go do the elevator. Without the bucket. So this does have clues. Warehouse access plan. Produce one plank to allow ease of access past fence. Construct bridge to allow collection of shiny float. Retrieve Chris's remains from warehouse floor. Construct a new structurally sound bridge. Large room, lots of boxes. Stairs, something to do with stairs. Somewhere both red and blue. Oh, so these are the ones that I have collected. Okay, okay. Places to search. Gotcha. A large room with lots of boxes. That feels like... that would be the warehouse? Stairs. Something to do with stairs. I bet one of them's underneath the staircase leading up to the boss's office. If you go down, I bet one of them's underneath there. And then somewhere both red and blue. There's the red and blue doors, but I don't know if that's what that's talking about. Okay. I don't want to go down the stairs yet. I want to do this apparently new ending. This is just...
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
All right, elevator. Smell-elevator.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
Sounds like an evil man. He does. You put a curse on the bucket. I mean, that's pretty evil. Calming New Age music.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
We're going back.
Whoops. Nope. Never mind. Stanley actually got back into the elevator and went back up. Silly me.
Oh,
Why
silly.
did Stanley do that when he knew that it would just lead back to his boss's office? Well, that's a great question. I just can't wait to find out.
There's gonna be cool shit back here. Alright. Okay. This is wholly new, so like this is like an extra base Stanley Parable thing. It's gonna be neat.
Here we are, Stanley. It's your boss's office. Exactly the way it was before you got onto the elevator. It's still just exactly what it is.
Huh.
What a decision you've made to come up here and look at the office again. This has
I love this
fleshed
decision.
out the plot of the story in new and fascinating ways I could have never anticipated. It's that keen eye for storytelling that you have, an incisive rapid fire of critical plot points, one after the other, weaving a rich tapestry of uncompromising narrative. Wow. I'm bolted to the edge of my seat.
I bet you are. Right, now you can go back down. So is this just going to be driving the narrator nuts by going down to the facility and then coming back up?
Incredible. Now he's getting back into the elevator and going down again. Ladies and gentlemen, how does he keep coming up with all of this?
I don't know, man. I just really like elevators, you know?
Did you think we were going to go forward down the spooky corridor? No. It's time once again to go back up in the elevator. I can't even begin to grapple with what might be up there. Is it the boss's office again? Or what if it's the boss's office this time? The suspense is killing me.
Who knows what it could be? It could be anything. It could be anything at all. Oh, look at it.
Oh my god. It's the boss's office. This absolutely changes everything for me. Give me a timeout here for a minute while I process this. Okay, I'm ready. I'm prepared to embrace this stunning revelation
Okay,
and to
all
move
right.
forward with...
Okay.
No, wait. No, I need more time to process.
Oh, okay. Alright, fair enough. I know it's boggling. I know I've come up with something fucking insane here, so I can take all the time you need to process this amazing new revelation. Gotta love Dippy Bird.
All right. I have fully come to terms with it.
You good?
I have made space in my worldview
Uh-huh.
for this astonishing new reality. As before, I turn to your expert eye for gripping narrative, Master Stanley.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Now, you won't believe what we're about to do here, okay? But you'll never believe it. Wait a second. Hold on. Wait a second. Just to make sure, one thing really quick. Guys, you don't even know what I'm about to do. This is going to be the most astonishing turn of events you've ever seen. Are you ready? We're going down the
Of
elevator.
course. Going back down in the elevator. Yeah. How did I not anticipate it? I mean, sure, now it's obvious, but you have to understand that 30 seconds ago, this kind of thing had never been attempted before. I had no frame of reference to even anticipate it.
I'm a
That's
narrative
just
master.
how revelatory Stanley's decision-making is. A breath of fresh air in a landscape of storytelling that has grown stale and repetitive.
And I am nothing. I am nothing if not stale and repetitive. Now, oh, there's a nice hallway going on here. This is pretty neat, but, wait a minute. There's something you're not seeing. There's something you're just not seeing here.
You know what? I've just thought of something. Hold on, let's stop for a moment.
What?
Don't you realize? It's the anticipation, Stanley. You and I, we have no way of knowing what will be at the top of this elevator.
No,
but
we
the
don't.
suspense, the agony of waiting and anticipating and having to guess, that's the real thrill. Oh, I simply don't want to let that feeling go. It's so precious.
It is.
So fleeting. Why don't we take
Anticipation.
this elevator ride nice and slow?
I agree. I agree.
There we go.
Yeah.
Isn't this so much more exciting? You know, Stanley, it seems like nowadays the only thing that audiences want is to be shocked as loudly and frequently as possible. They want big, explosive moments flung right in their faces from the very moment that things get started. But where's the tension? Where's the trust in the audience to build a slow and nuanced appreciation for the story, the characters? Why aren't we given time to imagine the surprises, to have to think and to anticipate and then to marvel at the eventual reveal? This is storytelling, Stanley.
Yeah, the
what you
processing,
and I
yeah.
are doing right now. This is the most exciting narrative to be developed in years.
What's gonna
And
be
it's
at the
really
top?
all because of you. You're the one
Put
who
your
took
guesses
this
in the
bold
chat.
step of
What's gonna
revisiting
be
the
at the top?
exact same locations
You don't
over
even
and
know.
over. Truly, I
Hell,
mean it.
I barely
This is
even know.
unique and different. It's not like anything else out there. You see, I want stories that surprise me, Stanley. I want to have to think. I want to be engaged and not pandered to. We're being fed such unimaginative drivel all the time, and we all know it, which is why we're so starved for content that makes us feel sharp and vital and alive. That's why people like you so much, Stanley. Because you're not afraid to spit in the face of tradition.
Dude, fuck
You're
tradition.
a role model, you know? People look up to you. Which is why, oh, I didn't know when to spring this on you, but, well, I've gathered a little press conference for you. So that you
Oh.
can talk about your work and your storytelling and your life.
I
Yes,
appreciate
I know
that,
you're
narrator.
not much for the public eye, but I thought it would especially mean a lot to the people who have been following you from the beginning.
No, this
They
time I do
really look
appreciate
up to
it,
you,
really.
Stanley. I don't know if you realize the impact you have on them. This is the kind of gesture that might leave a tremendous impact on them for the better. Oh, good, we're here.
Well, I'm excited to talk to
Okay,
my
the
people.
room where we're holding the press conference should be just around the corner here somewhere.
Excellent. Truly excellent. World peace, baby.
Ah, yes, here it is, just through this door.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Wait just a fucking second. Wait a minute. Wait 1 minute. Oh, it closed behind me. Okay. Alright, fine. Yeah, I don't know why it keeps it uses the Minecraft door noise in a lot of places. Oh, I can hear my
Right,
people.
are you ready? I've told them you're going to speak a little bit about the nature of surprise in storytelling and what it means to craft
will
a
be doing
truly unpredictable narrative. Oh, don't worry. You'll do great. Just be yourself and speak from the heart. I'm really proud of you, Stanley. Okay, it looks like they're ready for you. Go get them.
Alright, let's go. Ah! Yes! Yes! Glorious.
How wonderful. Stanley was alone. Finally. This is great, he thought to himself. This is
Replacement
what I
bucket.
wanted all along. I got what I wanted.
Ah, good. The bucket.
And try not to lose this one too, you dolt.
What if I did lose it again? What if I launched it off again? I know I'm such a good storyteller. I'm the best storyteller. Really? Huh, okay. Alright, so... Well, let's just do that one again, but with the bucket. May as well, you know? May as well. Well, you said there was also a separate ending with the bucket.
Stanley clutched the bucket
thought.
tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Stanley, we must move on from this broom closet, simply because I have no remaining stickers. If I did, you can guarantee we'd be in here for hours.
Okay, this is
But
the same
alas,
thing
no stickers.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
again.
Stepping into his manager's
haven't put the
office,
code in
Stanley
quickly
was
with the
once
bucket
again
yet, so-
stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew
Oh, okay.
all along?
All right,
Was
gotcha.
the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
So if it ends up being the same thing, I'll just like break it off and go through the escape ending with the bucket.
Wait, Stanley said to the bucket. Can we go back up? When I was pressing those keypad buttons, there was something very intriguing about the number 3. I want to
The
go
number
back so
3?
I can try pressing the number 3 again. The bucket said nothing.
I'm gonna go press the button. I'm gonna go press the number 3. Okay. Okay. We gotta do it.
Here we are, said Stanley. Now I'm going to try out that number 3 button. He took the bucket over to the keypad and began absolutely slamming on the number 3 over and... Wow, he said. The number 3 is such a special button. I'm having the time of my life. Stanley looked expectantly at the bucket, but the bucket remained silent. This was a shock to Stanley, who had always felt such a connection with the bucket. How was this not as exciting to the bucket as it was to him? Once Stanley had had enough of the number 3, he got back in the elevator.
All right. Okay. I mean, I thought it was kind of neat, you know. I was just saying, you know. That's all I was saying.
Perhaps the bucket had missed something. Perhaps it had not seen how much joy Stanley got from slamming the number 3 repeatedly. No, said Stanley to the bucket. You can't go on yet. Not till you understand how much the number 3 means to me. You
Yes.
and I have been
3.
through so much together, and I just want you to see what I see. Feel the happiness I feel. He smiled at the bucket, and the bucket said nothing.
There will be happiness. You will feel my joy at the number 3.
Here we go, said Stanley. This time I'll really show you. He ran to the number 3 and began to wail on it like a musician on a beloved instrument, weaving a concerto of truth and passion. He wielded the number 3 like a fine artist would wield a paintbrush. He told stories through the number 3, stories of his dreams and hopes and fears, and the whole time he looked to his bucket for a reaction of some kind. Anything to let him know that the bucket appreciated what he was doing. The bucket conveyed absolutely nothing at all, only silence. Crushed by a wave of dejection, Stanley returned to the elevator.
Okay. That's how you feel, bucket.
Stanley and the bucket were so close. They'd always been there for one another. Why suddenly could the bucket not connect with this passion of Stanley's? The question caused Stanley to ruminate the whole way down the elevator. He knew that there must be a way to get through to the bucket, to communicate fully with his dear friend. Surely there was a solution, mustn't there be?
I'm gonna show you how much 3 means. I'm gonna show you. You're gonna see it.
Said Stanley. I know what to do.
I know what to do.
I know how to fully express this feeling in my heart. He decided right then and there that he would hold a press conference where he would speak
Yes.
to the public on all matters relating to pressing the number 3 over and over. He would elaborate fully on what the number 3 meant to him and why he felt so alive when pressing it. Then the bucket would be able to see his joy through the eyes of others. It would get to see the world react to this discovery of Stanley's. And it would be through the public eye that the bucket would finally understand Stanley's work. For months, he advertised and marketed his press conference, building excitement around it, developing and rehearsing it, until it couldn't be refined a single measure further. When the big day arrived, Stanley was as prepared as he'd ever been for anything in his life.
3.
This was it. One last chance to win the bucket over. One opportunity to share a true connection with a loved one. There was no one here. Nobody had come to the press conference to hear Stanley speak, to listen to him talk about what it really means to press the number 3 on a keypad over and over. He was unloved, uninteresting, he was a failure, and in that moment Stanley knew that the bucket would never again take him seriously. There would be no connection, no deeper understanding. The bucket merely sat there in his arms, indifferent. And so it began that slowly, over many years, the two of them grew more and more distant. They spoke less and less, neither wishing to state the obvious, that any sense of real respect between them had eroded since that day at the press conference. There would be no more games, no more long conversations about passion and pursuit, only a silence that consumed the space between friends. And Stanley, having for once in his life discovered the warmth and comfort of true companionship, was cast back into the unremarkable normalcy of loneliness.
Damn. All right. There's gotta be a way I can do the closed door ending with the bucket. Most tragic ending, yeah.
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision?
That's just the normal one. Okay. Why was that so genuinely heartbreaking? Yeah, really.
Stanley had never seen the office this brightly lit. Was it a sign of something? He hoped it was. He hoped very much that it was.
Yeah.
The bucket made Stanley want to be a better man and a better co-worker. In time, perhaps, he would become both of those things.
Stanley
Let's do
clutched
the
the bucket
downstairs
tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
So we're both red and blue.
Coming to a staircase,
Downstairs.
Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Hey.
Okay, I'm going back to the name of these little Stanley figurines, and now I'm torn between Stanlerines and Figlies. What do you think, Stanley?
Figlies?
What name better
like
encapsulates the
Figlies.
intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by 1? Let me sit
Figlies.
on it. I'm sure it will come to me.
I think that's a good one. I think Figlies is a good one. Just roll with that.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I
Is it
am
still
crazy.
the same?
He looked down at the bucket in his arms.
no, okay.
Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult
Please.
times
Yeah,
such as
yeah.
these.
Does
He
sound like
held
a
the bucket
health
close,
food product.
yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket. Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How
Get
did
the thing
I
off
end
of
up
me!
with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good would come from this. Who knows what sorts
Where's
of
my bucket?
bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. And now he felt himself floating off the ground. Oh, gracious, he exclaimed. Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him. Stanley! Stanley,
bucket!
it's me! The bucket!
I can't find the
Could it truly
bucket.
be? He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the next. None of them were his. None of them were his special bucket.
Come to me, Stanley. Find me.
He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along. It was incredibly painful. Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out. This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket. Of course he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him.
If only he'd remembered.
Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself, my life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
Heck yes, my life kicks ass.
How long was I sitting there? Stanley wondered to himself. Minutes? Days? Centuries? Did something crucial happen while my senses were turned? He made a note to be more
Oh,
careful
the
with
430
time.
achievement.
Not everyone is so lucky to have a bucket, but Stanley is a very lucky fellow. Very lucky indeed.
Is it possible to get the office ending with the bucket? I imagine it's probably not.
Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the achievement? Click a door 5 times. Is that all that you think an achievement is worth? No. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks. Now suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition.
Okay, gotcha.
I have to say, I'm still not feeling the satisfaction of witnessing true effort for a noble cause. Perhaps 50 clicks will do it. Yes, almost certainly 50 clicks.
No, I'm still not feeling it. You see, now that you've gotten the bucket involved, my standards have gone up. Merely clicking a single door is no longer enough. Now, I want to see you press this bucket against multiple doors. Now, that's the kind of thing that
All right.
merits an achievement.
Okay.
Why don't you put 20 bucket touches into door 417?
Bucket touches? Do I just need to back into the door a few times? 417. Or is it actually just me clicking? I'm pushing it up against the door. Maybe it's just clicking.
Okay, great.
Okay,
now,
it's just
go
clicking.
touch
Okay.
the bucket on door 437 a few times. Yes, now we're getting somewhere. How about door 415? Give it some bucket love.
Bucket love. Ho ho ho.
Now back to door number 437.
Okay.
You know, I think the copy machine needs some attention. Why don't you rub the bucket on it a bit? All right, back to room 417. I'm really feeling it now. I think we're getting somewhere.
Yeah. Me and the bucket. Oh, 417. Got it.
Okay, now bring the bucket on top of employee 419's desk.
Oh.
Yes, this is great. Now the bucket knows
Yeah.
exactly what it's like to be employee 419. Now, let's introduce it to door 416.
416.
We've almost got it. Now make
Yeah.
the bucket and the copy machine touch again.
Bucket and copy machine.
Finish it off, Stanley. 5 touches of the bucket on door 430. Yes! We did it! Wow! That felt amazing. You know, not all buckets will get this kind of experience. They won't all know what it's like to slam repeatedly against nearly every door in one section of an office building, or what it's like to be employee 419. Buckets may dream of an experience like this, but few can say they've truly lived it. You've given a bucket hope today. Stanley, I'm very proud of you.
Thank you, narrator. I kind of wish there was another achievement for it, but
Stanley
It's fine.
touched the bucket tightly to his chest
Okay.
and entered the door on
Let's
his left.
do the museum ending. I want to see if I even get to the museum at all with the bucket. So I'm very confused about both of these. A large room, lots of boxes, seems like the storage room, but I don't recall seeing the figure anywhere. And then somewhere both red and blue still doesn't make total sense to me. But maybe I'll figure it out.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
I hope they brought the secondary narrator back for this.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him?
Yeah, it says
Yes,
somewhere
this is
both
certainly
red
the
and blue.
most logical
I don't, it
explanation.
could be referring to the bucket, but I'm also trying to remember if there's a red and blue room or something like that. I'm aware it's going to be through the red door.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read,
We're gonna get out of
Mind
here, Bucket.
Control Facility. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley and the bucket would both meet a violent death. The door
No, we're
behind
getting
them
out.
was not shut.
We're getting out of here.
Stanley and the bucket still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point,
Track,
Stanley and the
please,
bucket
track.
were knowingly walking forward into a very painful death for each of them.
I'm aware of how to get to it.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley and the bucket inched closer to their demise, Stanley reflected on how meaningless the bucket's warmth and comfort had turned out to be. To be sure, it puts the mind and the soul at ease to embrace the bucket, but what use is a sense of ease when you're about to be crushed to death?
Like 4 vibes, yeah.
This is what Stanley thought to himself, and he sort of kicked himself for wasting so much time carrying a bucket everywhere. Farewell, Stanley.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator,
Yeah.
as
she's
Stanley
back.
and the bucket were led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, the bucket's life came to an end as it was crushed violently
Just the bucket?
to death.
What? Is this gonna be Stanley Parable 2? No.
It was a shame, the death of such a magnificent bucket.
What?
It's true that all buckets are radiant in their own way, but this one stood above the rest. It was a glorious bucket to behold.
It's just the bucket. Okay. The bucket welcomes you to the grand exhibit. You are standing at the precipice of knowledge. Much like a bucket itself, the human mind is frequently empty within, a carnivorous void. But through use of the exhibit in front of you, the mind becomes full and enriched and substantiated. Knowledge of the bucket and its history is the only true knowledge we really have. Will you take what you learn here out with you into the world? Will you accept with an open mind that what may be challenging about the information in this exhibit? Will you change the lives of yourself and your loved ones as a result of this exhibit? Or will you turn a blind eye and continue to live as you were, in ignorance and darkness?
Can you see how arrogant it was for Stanley to take a bucket like this and to claim it for his own? Can you see the hubris that blinded him? Can you see that the bucket is far more noble than Stanley will ever be
Is this
in
the
his
infinite
short
hole?
life?
Oh, this is the infinite hole. It's the server. Oh, we're gonna fall into the server at the end of this section. Hell yeah. Oh, that sure is a lot of buckets. 25 buckets. This looks like way more than 25 buckets. I'm just saying. A photograph of 25 buckets. The greatest number of buckets ever captured on camera. The photographer experienced catatonic shock for several weeks as a result of the euphoria from exposure to this many buckets at once. This feels like distinctly more than 25 buckets. There are barely 25 buckets. There's more than 25 buckets in this corner alone. That's... All right. Yeah. A bucket with 2 handles? What the fuck is this shit? This bucket is depicted as having 2 handles. Such a design has never been created in real life, having been deemed too dangerous and recklessly experimental. Every year, dozens are put to death just for attempting it. What a nightmare. What a nightmarish world we live in where people attempt that shit. Inferno bucket. What? What am I hearing? Okay. Inferno bucket, a replica of the Inferno bucket, which in the medieval era was so powerfully alluring that it drove dozens of nations to war with one another for control of it. Billions died, and yet in spite of it all, the simple fact remains, no one can control a bucket. This is a reference to a real-life war known as the War of the Bucket, which actually wasn't about a bucket. So, that's an interesting fact for you. There's a salmon... No, there's an oversimplified video about it. cave drawing. While we know that buckets predate the existence of mankind, we do not know by how long. This cave drawing depicts early man's discovery of the practical uses of the bucket, by which time the bucket had already likely been around for several millennia. Notice in these drawings how the bucket is allowing itself to be used, having judged humanity to be worthy of its treasures. 25 was the most he could count before blacking out. I don't think I've found 25 buckets in my whole life, let alone gathered them in one place. Yeah. Shark bait! Hoo-ha-ha!
No man can own a bucket, and certainly not a bucket as dazzling to behold as this one. It is man who should kneel before the bucket.
Of course. Oh, okay, hold on. Wait. Something I missed. It didn't. Oh, did it? This is actually a really linear... Okay. I'm already backtracking this far, so I may as well. There's a painting here, though. The stress bucket. Presented without commentary. The stress bucket, an analogy. Worrying, negative forecasting, negative thinking, lack of reassurance. Vulnerability equals size and strength of the bucket. Stress equals the level of water in the bucket. Coping strategies equals holes. Rest and relaxation. Doing something you enjoy. Rest and relaxation. Okay. All right. The hanging bucket. This piece symbolizes the necessary relationship between bucket and humanity. However clear our grasp of the bucket may be, there is yet more than is always out of reach. That is always out of reach. This distance inevitably is for our own good. I picked it up.
But there is something we can do. Something we can do together, you and I, that will right this terrible wrong. Let Stanley die. Let him be crushed by the machine. Don't reset the game. Don't give him another opportunity to run off with another beautiful bucket. We can save the world's buckets from their treatment as tools and implements if only we let Stanley die together.
Yes!
The bucket shall take its
The
place
bucket
as
is all!
as commander of a new world, a new vision.
Secondary narrator has not lost her touch.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps
All
he
right,
had
where have I not
simply
gone
missed a
yet?
memo.
Let me see. I do need to go to the red... I'm going to try going to the red and blue doors to find the figure, but what else have I not done yet? I haven't turned on the mind control machine yet. Then the other side... At this point, I will have covered everything, I think, that I can do with the bucket.
It takes a lot of humility to carry a bucket so magnificent. Stanley checked his ego and then proceeded onward.
Have you reset the game on her? Yeah. I mean, I don't think, like, in the normal ending, you haven't backed off the lift with the bucket.
Stanley
That's true.
clutched the bucket
That's true.
tightly to his
That'll be
chest.
faster here. Let me do that
This was
first.
not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
Well, I noticed when I walked out to get the bucket, I didn't actually fall. Like, I just hovered. So I think there's just an invisible floor there. Because I thought I was going to fall, but then I didn't, and I just walked up to the bucket instead, so...
And here it was.
two
Had the
secret endings
bucket
plus
turned
two
out to be
bucket versions left
correct?
to get.
Was
Yeah.
this better than the... No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo...
Oh, well, look who's got cold feet. Well, from
Yeah.
here, it looks like the only way forward is down, since the lift won't be coming back, but that's okay. You've got a bucket. Did you know that buckets are routinely used as cushioning devices? It's true.
You can fall on a bucket from literally any height and survive.
You're getting close now, Stanley. You've nearly gotten all of the Figler and Marines. Very soon, you'll collect the last one, and then the first number will equal the second number, and that will be it. We'll be different people by then. Different in the sense that we used to have none of them, and now we have them all. You can't go back to when you had no Figler and Marines. None of us can.
Figure and Marines.
Whoops. Looks like I was wrong. How clumsy of me.
All right, but I'm going back there because there's a vent. There's a vent, and that might be a secret. Might be a secret ending. Oh, let me get the bucket. Hold on. I'm gonna answer the phone with the bucket now. Hi-ya!
Stanley cradled the bucket in a gentle embrace. Protective.
Is it gonna be a bunch of buckets instead?
Assertive, yet
Hey Stanley, it's me. Just calling to let you know that you left your bucket at home. Silly.
Oh, that's the
It's
wife.
okay. I'm off to pick up groceries soon, so I could swing by your work and drop the bucket off at... Oh, wait a minute. This isn't your bucket. Wait, whose bucket is this?
I got my
Well,
bucket.
if it doesn't belong to anyone else, I guess I could just, keep it.
Go on.
Yeah, I'd really like to hang out with this bucket for a while. Oh,
hey.
sorry, what was I saying?
Hey.
Oh, yeah, have a nice day at work. I'll be here at home with my bucket. Bye, Stanley.
I have suspicions. Anyway.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest.
Turn on the mind control
and
device.
entered the door on his
And then we'll
left.
do the vent. Do the vent. I'm guessing one of the secret endings is she's leaving you for a bucket, yeah. I'm guessing one of the secret endings is in the red-blue room, the red-blue door room, or somewhere
Coming to
down
a
that way.
staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's
Potentially.
office.
Oh, shit! Or maybe it's actually through here. I've tried to open these doors 1,000 times. Okay, cool. I guess I know where the other one is
Stepping
now.
into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Okay. Alright, turn it on the mind control device. Let's go! Let's go! I'm assuming collecting all the figures is actually like a room, or an ending in itself. A room? What? You and me, Bucket, we're gonna take over the world.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
Oh, yep.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves. The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly
okay,
burst
Bucket.
into tears
It's
as
okay.
Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine.
Thought I'd look.
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the
The
first
cameras was
place?
different?
These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind.
The boss's office. Which monitor's different? It's up high. One of them is all glitchy and weird looking, I remember. I have the option to activate the disco now. Is it a pirate? One says pirate? Employee pirate. Fired. Okay. Oh, up there. Yeah, it's shattered. I'll activate the disco some other time, I think.
No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life
like
in
weird and
someone else's
pixelated? That's
control.
bizarre.
Never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could
I
trust
can't believe
no
this.
one except for the bucket.
Well, then I would avoid the disco.
But here was the proof.
Life doesn't
The
run on
heart of
disco,
the
you know.
operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content.
I'm gonna
Walking,
avenge the bucket.
Eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past
My
began to
life
sink
runs
in,
on disco.
Stanley decided that this machinery would never again.
Hi-ya!
But at the last second, the bucket jumped in and pressed the button
Wait.
to turn on the controls.
What?
Stanley gasped in horror. Had this been the bucket's plan all along? To take over the machine and claim the power for itself? How could the bucket have betrayed him like this? Stanley was prepared to throw the bucket away in disgust when suddenly an image appeared upon the enormous screen. Birds.
Seagulls?
Silly birds.
Birds?
The control buttons became active again.
Flamingos. Oh. There's
Stanley
birds.
flipped through one
There's
video
penguins.
of silly birds after another.
Cassowaries.
And then it dawned on him.
Songbirds.
This wasn't a mind control facility at all. It was a facility for monitoring and surveilling silly birds all over the world.
Oh my god.
The mind controls were only a facade to disguise its true intentions. Had the bucket known this all along? Stanley marveled at the metal genius in his hands, the one who had pointed him towards this incredible discovery. Stanley and the bucket never found freedom because they spent the rest of their lives here in this place, flipping through live streams of the silliest birds imaginable. Of all the possible
They're so
paths
silly.
his life could have taken, this one was surely the best.
That's a
And
spoonbill.
Stanley was happy.
That's amazing. They flipped the happy and sad endings. That's cool. I like that. All right, what was I gonna do again?
A soft wind blew outside and perhaps rain started, and if it did, it stopped shortly after. Stanley hoped that he would one day see weather.
The vent. The vent's what I was gonna do. Actually, I want to collect the figure last.
When Stanley came
There was
to a
also the
set
boss's
of two
office.
open doors, this
gonna
was
do a
not the
bucketless
correct way
vent
to the meeting
first.
room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to
I
admire
haven't heard
it.
this dialogue in a while.
And here it was, the lounge. What a room, Stanley thought to himself. What a room, what a room, what a room.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Into the vent. Brand new ending. Whoa. Hey, we're in a completely different office right now. Nice drawing.
Stanley had now gotten himself so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten.
You didn't think I was actually just a recording, did you?
Oh.
What a silly and trite explanation that would be. All the
All
back
right,
and
then.
forth between you and me, all the absurd adventures we've been through, and it all turns out I'm just a tape recording? It was all just in Stanley's head. I bet that's the kind of twist you think is revelatory. I bet each and every
it
time
was
you
for a
watch
moment.
a movie where it turns out all to be in the main character's imagination, you must absolutely bolt off the couch in pure shock at the phenomenal and intricate storytelling. It must be so simple to be you. Life being an
all right.
unending waterfall of surprises and delights. How much more exciting you must find the world than the rest of us do.
I mean...
Now I've become sad. Look what you've done to me. This is all your fault.
That was it? Okay. That was quick.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
Bucket time.
Stanley's bucket. The
My
only
bucket.
co-worker he would ever truly need.
Who needs any other coworker? I love my bucket. You ever seen a bucket more pretty than this one? No, I haven't.
Stanley
Boss
clutched the bucket
Snowman.
tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go
Where
back
could
to
the
the
vent
meeting
lead
room.
to now?
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go.
No. We're going here. Oh, okay.
Okay, this is day number 295, tape number... I don't even know. I've lost track. Nothing feels real anymore. The longer I study this bucket, the less sense anything makes. The sheer euphoria I feel every time I pick it up.
Is this Stanley
No
talking?
matter how many times I've done it, it's always the same
This is
feeling.
Stanley talking.
And the emptiness in my chest when I set it down. It doesn't make sense. There's no explanation for it. I still haven't figured out why I see the world so differently when this bucket is in my arms. Why everything feels so... What do I do with this treasure? I can monetize it. Yes. It's unthinkable the amounts of money people will pay for even just an hour with the bucket. This is my golden ticket. But I have to be careful, because as soon as this gets out, there's going to be a target on my back. Even now, I don't know who might be trying to get... What's that? Who's there?
What? I wasn't expecting Gambarata to make an appearance. From the... What the hell? Why is that amazing to me? Why is that amazing? What? What? Why was that good? It shouldn't be that good.
Someone was following Stanley. He was sure of it.
If he checked over his shoulder now, he would surely catch them. It was only a matter of time.
I never liked that one.
Is Stanley, without the bucket, really Stanley at all? No. No, surely not.
Hold on, is the bucket available to be picked up in the confusion ending at all? Like down the path? Or is it just not there in the regular confusion
Stanley
ending?
clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Oh wait, no wait, I didn't want to pick up the bucket actually. I want to do the other doors, the doors across from the boss's office. Ooh.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Don't see this
what
one
could
very
it
often.
mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
Not the confusion
Perhaps
ending,
he
I
had
think.
simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set
boss's
of two
office.
open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Doors across from the boss's office. I wonder if the narrator will comment on the fact that everyone tried to open those doors.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Uh-huh. A whole different office. And an elevator. It doesn't matter what button I press. Both buttons. Oh, it actually interrupts. Okay. Wait, is he dancing? Okay. Well, we go down. Okay, it doesn't matter. Alright, let's just hang out here then. Nice elevator music. Stanley. Yeah. We're having a time right now. There it is, having a time. Was it? Okay. I don't remember this being in the original game. I thought this was new to me. So this is not the third ending? This is completely new. I never knew this was in the game before. Oh, okay. I never realized. All right. But I'm still on track for the third ending right now? The third secret ending?
Okay, I think we all know the drill by now. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad. Stanley pushes some buttons. Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway. Quelle surprise.
I still think this hallway over here does something, but, you know, it never does. Because I know one of the secret endings was this elevator, but I'm on the first desk in the monitor room? Okay. I want to turn on the lights first so you can see anything. Okay. In the monitor room. Okay, gotcha.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
That seems pretty obtuse to climb on the first desk. Like,
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold?
oh, I can just throw myself
Stanley
down
thought to
here?
himself.
Okay.
Did he have the strength to find out?
Whoa. Okay. Down here now.
Aha!
You've made it to the bottom of the mind control facility. Welcome. You see, back when the Stanley Parable first launched in 2013, getting to the bottom of the mind control facility was a bug that we simply didn't catch during development. And you all sent us lots of photos of it on Twitter and acted very superior about it. And you're all very, very clever. Good for you. Anyway, when it came time to update the game, we knew that we had to do something about this little goof of ours. So here you go. New content. You can call it the bottom of the mind control room ending, if that enhances your perception of the value of these updates. Isn't that what you crave? New content? Always more content, more content, more. And I'm here to give it to you.
Well, thank you.
I'm here to make it seem like we really covered every nook and cranny of the game with secrets and Easter eggs. How about this? We wrote a new piece of music just for this section.
Blake Robinson, let's go.
You won't hear it anywhere else in the game.
Oh, awesome.
It's a secret that's just for you. That's how special you are.
Oh,
we call this track, Good Job You've Made It to the Bottom of the Mind Control Facility. Well done.
Good job, you did it.
Oh, yeah.
Good job. 3, 2, 1. Good job, you made it to the bottom of the mind control facility.
Yeah.
You jumped on the catwalk. You should have been careful. You should have been careful. It used to be a bug, but now it's an ending. Now it's an ending. I believe in you. I believe in your ability to cross this barrier and chase your dreams. The railings don't mean anything. Good job, you did it. 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 Good job, you did it.
Oh, I love that. That was my favorite. That was my favorite song I've ever heard.
A soft wind blew outside and perhaps rain started, and if it did, it stopped shortly after. As Stanley lifted his bucket, he felt a connection to all buckets everywhere. This adventure, he decided, was for all. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Let's go,
Coming
bucket.
to a staircase,
You and me.
Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
I'm just curious to see if anything different happened with the bucket in here. Does it become industrial? Metal clanking and such? No? Okay, guess not. It's fine. Fine, I guess.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire, if not for the soothing presence. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him?
I like to think so.
Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Stanley.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? But just as Stanley was about to proceed further into the mind control facility, he tripped and fell over the railing and into the dark void below. Thankfully, he fell directly onto the bucket, which safely cushioned his fall.
Oh, that's the...
Now,
What to do next?
That's
Stanley
that in the
wondered.
storage area.
Stanley and the
Back off the
bucket
lift.
could find no way out of this enormous pit, and so eventually they decided that the best thing to do would be to simply
Might
get
as well.
comfortable down here. So they set up a little couch and relaxed. It really
Oh.
wasn't so bad down here, a bit cold perhaps. After some time had gone by, they installed a few shelves as well, and a sort of kitchenette that was useful for when the bucket was craving paninis. But it wasn't until the rugs and the standing lamps came in that it really started to feel like a home.
It is really
In
feeling
fact,
like home.
after some time, Stanley realized that it had been ages since he had even thought of the mind control facility at all. He'd never gotten to fully explore what was up there, never been able to unearth the many mysteries of the mind control facility. This lack of closure began to eat at him. Soon he was dwelling on his regrets, and the state of their home slowly decayed as Stanley became withdrawn and neglected the cleaning. It unsettled the bucket deeply. Stanley wasn't usually like this. The bucket tried to reach out to him again and again, but to no avail. All Stanley could think about, all he could talk about, was going back, doing it over again, staying on the path. It was a mistake to leave the path. It was a mistake. It was a mistake. I need to do what the narrator says. I need to see the true ending. This made no sense at all to the bucket. It was simply trying to live its life down here as comfortably as possible. Yet Stanley was unconsolable. This isn't an ending. This is just a hole in the ground. The bucket sighed. True, it wasn't an ending. But it's where we happen to be. And maybe, possibly, if we accept the reality of things, maybe this will become an ending eventually. It's what the bucket was counting on. The two of them waited for a very long time.
Oh, and then it was an ending. Cool. All right. So, since I
All
can't
of
reach
his
the red blue
co-workers
doors
were
without the
gone.
bucket,
What
we'll
could it
just
mean?
head there.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
All right, there's all the endings we can possibly get. Just end the stream now. Fucking excuse you.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly
I seriously
well.
doubt that.
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the
Just
employee
saying.
lounge first, just to admire it.
It was okay.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
There's like no reward for it, dude. Look, I will
Stanley
be
was so
very
bad at
content with
following
the simple
directions,
fact that
it's
I have
incredible
done
he wasn't fired
everything.
years ago.
No particular rewards necessary.
Look, Stanley, I think
I'm
perhaps
happy to
we've
go get
gotten
all the
off on
figures.
wrong foot
I only
here.
need one more
I'm
anyway.
Not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been
will suit
about
myself,
nothing
thank
but you all this time. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me
hello.
prove that I'm on...
And there it is. The last Stiggly Wiggly. Savor this moment, Stanley. This is a real accomplishment. This is doing something just for the sake of doing it. Where so many people expect to be rewarded for the most trivial achievements, you've insisted that a job well done is its own reward. I would tell you that I'm proud of you for collecting them all, but that would be like a reward, and we can't have that. So, instead I'll just say, it's done. We're all done here. And now we can go to whatever the hell you were doing before you hunted for figurines.
All right, cool.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Just curious about one thing. That was disorienting.
Stanley, I'm sorry, but I have to put a pause on things. It's just...
what's up?
It's those figurines. Those figglers. I haven't stopped thinking about them since you nabbed every last one.
Yeah,
Wasn't
got
it
all
just
of
the
them.
most intrinsically fulfilling moment of your entire life?
Yeah, I have to say
Didn't
it was.
fill you to the brim with inner richness?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I know we're
Yeah.
supposed to be telling a story, but won't you please indulge me with one more trip back to the memory zone?
Oh, all right, sure.
I would love
sure.
nothing more than to revisit the figurines. Just
All right.
one more time.
The memory zone. When Stanley found the collectibles. Ah, I'm so excited to remember. I'm so excited to remember, guys. Zone Sweet Zone, 2013, when the Stanley Parable was released. It's a glorious time. Ah, see, it's a new sub-basement level. Didn't something used to be here?
Here's where it all began.
Yeah.
The first collectible. Back then, we had no idea of how many of them we'd find. Sure, it said 6 right there on the screen, but how could we know for certain? We were so innocent. We'll never be like that again, Stanley.
Yeah. Now they're all collected, you know? Okay, this... I have to say, this makes me a little uncomfortable at this point. It says 7 out of 6, and that bothers me
And here
a little bit.
was a second Stanley. You found this one all on your own, just by poking around in the boss's bathroom. You did that, Stanley. I'll be honest. Back then, I had no faith in you to find any of them, let alone 6. But you continue to surprise me in all sorts of mundane, unremarkable ways. Okay, let's do a little quiz. Which of these rooms was the room you found your third mini stand? Can you remember?
I don't even remember anymore. It's the boss's office. But it was both, though. It was the boss's office and
Hey,
the stairs.
that's exactly right.
Oh,
It
I
was
see, I
here,
see what you're
behind the
saying.
boss's office. It was the third one. You picked it up, and then after that, you had 3 of them. I'm glad these moments are so crystal clear in your memory, but I shouldn't be surprised. After all, science tells us that it's impossible to forget your third time doing anything. Let's see, what came next?
What?
Oh yes, we found a Figley in this pink room. Oh, well, I can't actually say I remember being in this room, but it's here in the memory zone, so it must have happened.
The pink. There was no pink. I don't remember pink. I think I'm starting to feel sick, guys.
This was the 5th mini stand, and this one was really something special. It was in the warehouse. I remember it so clearly. In
Okay.
fact, because this one is particularly special to me, I made a little video to commemorate the occasion.
Oh, okay.
Enjoy.
Alright. Wow! Windows Movie Maker. Dang. At a crisp 480p. This isn't even 480p. This is like 360, maybe even 240.
Takes you back, doesn't it? I spent a lot of time making that video, but it
Nice
was
job.
8 minutes I wouldn't have spent on anything else.
Whoop, there we go. I have to say that the contradiction, the narrative contradiction is beginning to weigh on me a little bit. I have more now
And
than I
then,
should.
Stanley, then we came to the last collectible, the final figurine, right here by the red and blue doors. This memory is the most distinct and clear in my mind, perhaps because it was the one that happened more recently than all the others. Who
Well,
can
probably.
truly say how the mind works? All
It
I
seems
know
pretty
is that
accurate
this is
to
the
me.
moment where you picked up a Figley and I thought to myself, yes, that's all of them. They're all collected. It was a moment unlike any other.
My man.
Except for the other moments picking up figurines, which it was exactly like.
Dude, we've got 12. There wasn't supposed to be 12. Oh,
And then
we're in the
there
now.
was no more. Because we've caught up to the present moment. Nothing left to do but move onward into the future. Goodbye, memory zone.
Okay.
No, I'm not done. I'm not ready to move on. Stop the loading screen. Isn't there some way we
that's
can
new.
stay here, keep enjoying these figurines? Let's just go backwards. We'll do the memory zone again from the opposite direction. See how that feels.
Okay.
Okay, yes, the room with the red and blue doors. I remember this. I must say, of all the figurines we looked at in our initial tour of the memory zone, this one is the most distinct and clear in my mind. Let's keep going. I want more.
The loading screen unloaded. Genius, yeah. I love remembering you getting all the figurines.
And
That's
here's
what I
where I
love
made
too.
that video. Don't you remember the video we watched?
Yeah, I do. All right.
Yes, I love that video.
Oh, 18 out of 6 of them? Yeah.
Still don't remember the pink room, Stanley. Still no memory of this one. Good room, though. A solid room.
It is a pretty good room, I'll admit. It looks very nice. I don't know why is there an apple?
These really were a treat to hunt down. You know, if there had been any kind of reward for finding all of these, it really would have neutered the intrinsic joy of collecting them. I'm very glad we resisted the temptation. Next one.
This is gonna be an awkward realization for him. No? Nothing? Okay. How would this have been set up if I'd collected them in a different order? Like...
This was our second Figley. Don't you remember? Yes, I remember it too. The past is truly a wonderful thing. Why does anyone ever choose to leave it? Keep going. This is it. The very first one we found in the exhibit where I introduced you to the figurines.
Somehow?
Oh, I want more memories, Stanley. I want to keep going. What else is
There aren't
there?
any
What
left.
came before this?
I fucking... Oh, we're back here. Oh, yeah, the figure display. And the jumping circle.
Look, it's the terrible new content that we were originally sold on.
Yeah.
I remember hating it back then, but time does put a rosy filter on everything. In fact, I dare say I'm actually quite fond of it now.
Yeah?
Look how much
okay.
fun the past is. I want more. More memories.
Okay. Far back are we going here? Are we gonna see the skip button? Oh, the two doors.
Yes, the two doors! Who could have forgotten that? A classic memory, this one.
Yeah, they're here. They're both here. Oh, the office.
And
Yeah.
before everything else, there was your office.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Is there anything else? Was there something that
is-
came before your office?
Don't think
There's
so.
something I feel I can remember. I can remember.
There is the
I can
original
remember.
mod.
Yes, I'm remembering something now.
Okay.
I remember before this whole story got started. Back then I was different. I used to make big decisions. I was passionate. I was skeptical. I weighed each decision with profound thoughtfulness. And then somewhere along the way, I stopped making decisions. I became lazy. And I came up with a character named Stanley to do my thinking for me. He would make the decisions. He would decide which way to go. I would cheer him on as he collected figurines for no reason. Why did I invent Stanley? Was I lonely? Yes, perhaps that's it. Perhaps I needed to imagine I had companionship. And Stanley really did make for a wonderful companion, even if he was a fiction. But I suppose it's grown old. I want to think for myself again. I want to go back to how it used to be. Yes, I can be on my own again. I can do it. I'll be stronger this time. I'll take care of myself. I don't need Stanley anymore. Oh, but he truly was so much fun to play with. You know what? Since we're in the memory zone, how about one more good memory? Let's go back just once and give Stanley one more run of the office, and then I'll retire him for good. I did enjoy telling his story so very much. Okay, here we go. This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Wow. Okay.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room to check on his co-workers. He never functioned well by himself and constantly needed support and guidance from others, so the thought of total solitude was terrifying to him.
Oh, that's for the bucket. Okay. Well, what do I even do now?
When Stanley came to a set of two
just
open
back
doors,
here.
he entered the door on his left.
I want to see the meeting room real quick. Well, clearly there wasn't.
Yet
And
there
this
was
is
not a
not
single
different
person
anymore.
here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief,
I did get a
Stanley
whole
decided
ending,
to
though.
go up to his boss's office,
did get a whole
hoping he
ending.
might find an answer there. Coming
Okay. There has to be something else I can do at this point.
What new mysteries lay in store for our bucket-loving heroes today?
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Yeah, it's a shorter hallway. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. There has to be something else. That felt that felt like it was going to be conclusive until it wasn't. I mean, the game just does that occasionally to shake things up. But I don't remember a short hallway like that being in the original game. Yeah, I would like to know the honest answer. Because, like, if there's nothing else for me to do, then that's just it. You know, nothing else to do on this stream. Think the meeting room might have a hint now. Okay, all right. I did go back there, but maybe I just didn't look close enough.
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers.
All the hints went away, so I don't think this. I think it's got anything else. Reboot the game fully. Oh, okay. All right. Oh, I do need to set my favorite time. That's right. Okay. All right. All right. Okay, then. Give me a second. We'll do this. All right. Quit to desktop. My favorite time is sleep time. Mm-hmm. Oddly enough, my actual favorite time of day is 12 o'clock noon, like around there. But I don't know, I'll go with like 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock's a nice time. All right, here we go. We're going back in. Imagine not doing 420. I'm imagining it right now. Written by Davy Redden. Please enter the current time. We'll go with 5 o'clock. Boom. 5. Actually, for the sake of Stanley, 8. 8. 8. Ah, 8 a.m., your favorite time of day. It's the morning time. Or could you simply not resist giving me the correct time again? After all, I know how much you enjoy setting the time correctly. I do, but I was doing what you told me to do. Okay, now I'm curious how accurate 8 a.m. is. Let's use another slider to find out. How accurate is 8 a.m.? It's completely inaccurate. You know, can I just say, regardless of the accuracy of the clock, I'm having a great time adjusting these settings. I feel like I'm learning more about you and how you like things to be set. It's good to collect data. I wish we had more sliders, but we've gone through all the sliders I have. Perhaps I can invest some new sliders to gather new data on you. Shouldn't be too hard. Yeah, let me whip a couple new ones up. Should be ready by the time you boot up the game. Oh, okay. Well, let's do it again. Please adjust the slider until the computer is barely visible. Okay. It's right about there. Please adjust the slider until the dog and the cat are friends. Ooh. Please adjust the slider until the number 5 becomes the number 9. Whee. Oh, I saw 9. No, it said the number 9. Where's the number? There it is. Boom. Please adjust the slider until you stop adjusting the slider. Whee! Whee! All right. That's a good adjustment. Which of the 2 made-up words below is most appealing to you? Boinkle or Scrumtush. Boinkle. Scrumtush. I'm partial to Scrumtush. Please don't adjust the slider. All right. Do you know what time it is right now? Yes. Is the time that it is right now the correct time? From a 3-dimensional non-aesthetic being standpoint, yes. What is time anyway? No. Is there anything about yourself that you haven't told me? A lot, yes. Help. I'd like to. That's concerning. Will you come back to visit me? Sure, yes. Well, let's go back and visit him. Only this game would put a whole ending before the game even starts. What time is it? Does anyone really, truly know? I guess not. Of course they don't. Nobody knows anything. You and I don't even know each other. We're like strangers. Sure, I've adjusted all the game's settings to your exact specifications, but who hasn't? It's just what I do. like a day job. And now, the job is over. There's no more information for me to gather. I've collected all the data on you that I can. And I still don't really know you. And you don't know me. And neither of us know what time it is. I guess some settings are just unsettable. But if I'm being totally honest, the clock doesn't do anything in the game anyway. You won't have me here when the game starts next time, but that's okay. Video games were meant to be played alone. You like being alone, don't you? That's maybe the only information I really learned about you. Well, it's time for me to leave. There is still one more setting that we need to adjust, but it may take a little time before I'm ready for that. It's not really in my job description, but that's okay. Perhaps you'll see me again, if you can find me. Talk soon. Oh, right, he did want to do an epilogue. Huh. Is he in here somewhere? There's plenty of settings in here. He's probably in here somewhere. There. He did want to do an epilogue. Well, here we go. Epilogue. So that was the actual final thing I had to do. Wow. It's time. The end is never the end. Many, many years later. Ooh. Ah, good. I'm glad we're back in Davy Jones' locker. What is this, Outer Wilds? Hello, Eric. You have arrived during the epilogue. Okay, that's Dusty. Oh, I see. This is what's become of the office after a long time. Oh. The memory room. What is that? Is that a toilet? Wait. Wait, it's the escape pod! Wait, what? It's the escape! What? But... Yes! Yes! I've got the bucket! Oh, my bucket. My very own bucket. Reunited with the bucket. It's got a generator. Narrator, are you here? Ah. Okay. I bet I'm gonna come across the skip button again. Review the Stanley Parable 2. Oh, it's Cookie 9. Like so many, I enjoyed my time with the original Stanley Parable. Fuck you, liar. Which underscores how truly disappointed I am with its sequel. Maybe we'll come across you actively skipping. That would be freaking crazy. Where the first game teamed with originality, the Stanley Parable 2 is dull, uninspired, and often insulting to its fan base. Rather than expand on what made the first game enjoyable, the sequel veers off into a trajectory nobody asked for, an infinitely deep hole. Who cares? Where are the new endings? What about enjoyable bits from the Stanley Parable 1, like the adventure line? Instead, we get an uninspired side quest, collecting figurines. Even this diversion feels incomplete. Collecting all the figurines gives you nothing. I must say, though, I found the bucket to be quite comforting and welcome. Yeah, you're an asshole! Cookie Nine, you suck! Cat dog born. Whoa, it's real! Cookie Nine strikes again. Oh, the name buttons.
Jim.
He didn't even use the name buttons. Get on the green. Stanley Parable developers. No more spin-offs, no more sequels. When the Stanley Parable launched to massive success in 2013, its creators made plans to build the property into an entire franchise. But a disastrous critical and commercial reception to the Stanley Parable 2 has prompted the developers to rethink their ambitions, as outlined in a press release they published today. Still says the sequel. It's clear that more Stanley Parable is just not what the fans want, reads the press release. We thought that we had a vision for the series that players would be excited about, yet it turns out this could not have been farther from the truth. The press release goes on to promise to preserve the artistic integrity of the original game and to stop assaulting fans with our reckless and insulting creative visions. The word sorry appears more than 25 times in the press release. Lowest aggregate review scores in video game history. Second. Huh. Cookie Nine, the bastard.
Jim.
Yeah.
Jim.
Jim. Ooh.
Jim.
What? What?
Stanley.
Ah, Stanley. Is that a reference to something? I assume that's a reference to something.
Jim.
Stanley. Wait, I don't know which way is actually progress. Oh, the cord went through here first. Okay, I see. Okay, yeah. Like, gasp. One worked after all. Yeah, Stanley. This is the figurine glow. Oh, figures. Well, alright. 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Woo, 26! Woo! For enjoying the new content. Hello again. Oh, hi! It's nice to see you. But it's terrible to learn that there will never be another Stanley Parable game. Did you read what the developers said? Preserve the integrity of the franchise. What nonsense. Wait, that's not divisible by 6. The Stanley Parable is not sacred. We do not need to protect it. Screw the legacy. Let's keep the Stanley Parable games until the sun explodes. Let's run this franchise into the ground. Let's drag it through the mud and back. And if people hate it, who cares? You see, that was the narrator's problem. He was so obsessed with what people thought of his work. Don't make his mistake. Don't cling to the legacy. Let it burn. It's not hard. In fact, let me show you. Together we are going to make the Stanley Parable 3. It's simple. All we do is change the number in the game's title screen. We also really need a dumb subtitle for the game. Something loud and gaudy. Go ahead, try combining some random words together to make a new title for our game. Fistful of boyfriends. That's it. The Stanley Parable 3, Fistful of Boyfriends. It's absurd. I love it. Every time you restart the game, we'll advance the number of the sequel by 1, and then we'll pick a new subtitle. That way, the Stanley Parable will never end, and nothing in the game itself will change when you do this either. Adding more content sounds like work. No need to do that. It'll just be the same game. It'll just be the same content, recycled again and again and again, with a new title screen. What do you say? Should we go forward with this plan? I like it, but I want you to have a say as well. Does this choice matter? Same. Oh, that's, yep. We have a shared mind. There's a Game Boy Link cable, about 500,000 miles long, connecting our brains together. Alright, let's do it. Good, then it's agreed. A new sequel every time you start the game. And you know what? Since you've put faith in my idea, I feel like giving you something as well. You see, I'm noticing that the narrator never found a way to give you the broken achievement, did he? Of course not. I wouldn't expect him to know how. It's been bothering me. Let's fix it. Alright, there. The achievement machine is all fixed. You see, I'm on your side. We're in this together. We're going to keep this train rolling. The Stanley Parable cannot end. It can only spiral in on itself, forever. I must keep the wheel turning. I'm ready. Are you ready? Great. There's only one last thing we need to do. Please enter the current time. Sure, it is 5:46. Please adjust the slider until the computer is barely visible. Whoop. Thank you. Please enjoy the Stanley Parable. Oh, it's yellow now! Let's start the game. Let's see what new shit. Oh, it is PM. You're right. Oh, well.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Indeed it is. Sequel. It's still just called the sequel. Okay. Is the settings menu yellow now? No, it's just... Okay.
All of his co-workers were
I assume
gone.
we still have the bucket.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the
there's
meeting
the
room.
bucket.
Perhaps... Now this, Stanley thought to himself, this is a bucket. And indeed
All right.
it was.
Wait, I've got the bucket and I can go through the new content? Okay. Well, I need to get to the
Oh.
machine.
New content? What does that mean, new content?
Is this going to be talking about the Stanley Parable 3 instead of Ultra Deluxe?
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley
Ultra
Parable
Deluxe.
Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers.
Sequels
After receiving
Okay.
critical and commercial success, it was
Well, he said he
expanded
fixed the
upon
achievement
in
machine, so
2022
I'm gonna get back
with
there
the
and get the
Stanley
broken
Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of
Yeah.
the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content. Wait, Stanley, I've just now realized. That bucket you're holding, it's the bucket I've been working on for my sequel. How did you get your hands on it? Isn't this the preview to the sequel? How do you have the bucket already? This makes no sense at all. Hold on. Did I already show you my ideas for the sequel? I don't remember doing that at all. You're seeing things all out of order.
Oh,
All
the
right.
jump circle's already at 0.
All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
No jumps. Are you sure there's no new content? I can't tell if you're being coy or if
The
you're...
infinite hole, the giant door. Did you see them already? Stanley, none of them are ready yet. I'm still developing them. They're not even close to finished. How did they look when you saw them? Were they captivating? Were they exciting? Did they fulfill on the promise of everything that a sequel to Stanley Parable could possibly be? Had I figured out how the hell to make a sequel to this game?
There's a few Easter eggs left worth getting. The epilogue was more or less the end of it. Okay. The new content. Okay, gotcha.
Wait, if you're still carrying the bucket around with you, if the bucket is interesting to you, that means I must have made it correctly. Yes, you carrying the bucket with you everywhere is exactly what I set out to accomplish. The bucket is the exciting and captivating new content that I promised. I did it! I win! I made a sequel to the Stanley Parable! Yes, the sign is correct. Thank you for enjoying the new content. Thank you for taking the bucket everywhere with you, clinging tightly to the bucket, never letting it go. It means I've won. It means I am victorious over the gamers. It is a sweet salve of victory on my soul. Thank you for enjoying the new content. The bucket is the Stanley Parable now. They are one and the same. There is no Stanley Parable without the bucket. I win, 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 I win.
Oh, I'm not surprised Stanley Parable 8 has a difference. I at least want to get up to that. Yeah. Stanley Parable, a bucket full of content. Okay, so I assume I have
All
to
of
go
his
into the new
co-workers
content
were
room without
gone.
the bucket first?
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Yeah. Oh. So... Oh, I see. Okay. Gotcha. Hold on.
Finally, yes, the bucket. Yes, yes, yes. I love that bucket.
Hello, Squirrel.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2.
Oh, but we're in the third one, though.
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for. Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly
pretty much
the
all of
Stanley
it.
Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a
By the way,
handful of interesting
I don't know if you guys
concepts,
noticed, but
that
in the
surely
thumbnail,
game
the
will
number
sort of
2 for
naturally
this stream, because the
spring
second
up
one
around
is
them.
red.
Here we are.
I thought that
Go
was fun.
on, try out some of the new features.
I thought that was funny joke. It's the name button. Where is the... Is it the achievement? Yeah, here we go. New and easy achievement.
Now, here's something special. You remember that broken
Thought you were
test
Johnny with the funny.
achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes. You see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the achievement will be given to you. It's as simple as that. As you can see, the machine is not working yet since... What? Wait, what in the holy hell is going on?
You got the achievement?
What the holy hell is going on?
Where did the machine work? Stanley, I didn't fix it. I didn't do anything to it. I swear, it was broken just a second ago. Who fixed it? Is someone here? Are we being watched? Oh, God. Composure? Composure. Yes, as you can see, the machine is working as normal, as I intended. It truly speaks to the awe-inspiring magic of the Stanley Parable 2. Breathe. Just breathe.
Shoot.
What else?
Not like that
what
one.
other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
Jump circle. Okay, let's go see what happens if I pick up a second bucket. If I go through the epilogue again, is it just the same? Why, we've
Wait,
got a second
There are two
bucket.
buckets here. How did you get a second bucket? Oh no, the warmth and comfort of a single bucket is already so great, so intoxicatingly wonderful. With two buckets, there's no telling. Stanley, can you still hear me? Are you with me?
Paradox.
Stanley!
Whoa.
Oh, thank
Damn,
God.
they just
I didn't lose
exploded.
you. Stanley, the power of two buckets was too much. I had to destroy both of them. I know how much the bucket meant to you, but I couldn't take the risk. I hope one day you can forgive me.
Okay. Can I redo my balloon decision?
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version,
I want the white ones.
office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with?
Given that I feel like, because this doesn't
sometimes
feel.
when you solicit another
I
person's
understand the
opinion,
end isn't
it
the
makes
end.
you realize that
The
you
end is
knew
never the
which
end
one you
and
actually
everything.
really wanted all along.
The numbering things?
Happy
Okay.
12th birthday, step-niece it is.
Change, but you can turn off the numbering thing. Okay. Wait, you can turn off like the successive sequels? Oh, blue now. They're blue.
Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision. We're moving
Okay,
on.
huh. Because I feel like with the presence of that, with the presence of the start screen instructions kind of taking on their own personality, I'd think that he would start conflicting.
Calling it the
with
Stanley
that.
Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an art. All right,
Awesome,
have you
glad you
seen
joined.
everything you wanted to? Ready to move on now?
Oh yeah, but I really do appreciate how the ending of this game is just made it so Ultra Deluxe is not only the sequel to the Stanley Parable, it's every sequel to the Stanley Parable. Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful
Adventure Line's number
gameplay
updates to whatever the
experience.
sequel you're on to.
Okay. Are you ready?
Squirrel, I'm
Here it
afraid
is.
I don't
I
even
give
really
you
know you, so.
The Stanley Parable 2. I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on. Let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better.
this is
I
still
feel
the same.
good about this. Here we go. Version 2.
I
Who am I
picked
kidding,
different
Stanley?
balloons, but that's it.
This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision
Just a
and
hangout place
integrity of the original
for
game.
my community.
Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need
Various
a really,
things happen there
really
occasionally.
tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2." Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Okay. It's changed it back to 2, which is interesting. Okay. I guess I'm just not quite out of it yet. Oh well, I want to get to 8. So I'm going to put on some music real quick. Just going to put that on, and then I'm going to continue to restart. Let's just have a nice chat until we get to 8. Whoops, that's the wrong one. There we go. Do, 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 do. But I think, well, I mean, it was certainly something, that's for sure. By the way, Stanley Parable 4 is going to be called Stanley's Big Hole. But yeah, it still says 2. Hold on. I probably have to go through the rest of this first. Okay. Never mind then. Hold on a second. Let me make sure I get out of the second game menu.
All of his co-workers were...
Huh. Begin the game again. Am I stuck in 2 now? Do I have to play the epilogue? Maybe I have to play the epilogue. Cut it off. I'll just hold the walk button down. Okay, gotcha. love the off-keyed dwindling of the music there. La 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 da da. I see my figure count is still locked at 26. Hello. Oh, 26, yeah. 5. The telephone octopus. Oh, the. Okay, I see. The treasure. Now, if the 8 logo isn't pink, I will be upset. I assume you guys know what 8 is a reference to, right? In Stanley Parable, anyway. In the demo for the original Stanley Parable release, it's essentially a mini Stanley Parable game. It doesn't even, there's no sections of the Stanley Parable you play. It's just they went for more a demo of the tone and the whole thing with the game. Initially. So it's more it's more a demo of the tone of the game. So it's a little packet of original content set with the Stanley Parable and the narrator. And you are someone who's coming in to demo it, and the narrator makes a big show of demoing the Stanley Parable, but then for whatever reason the demo doesn't work properly, so he redirects you through what is done to make a game, to make it the Stanley Parable. So he takes you backstage, but one of the I think actually the first thing you see that's supposed to be the Stanley Parable is a button, a white button with pink text on it just saying 8. And you click it, and it just goes 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8. Like you just click it, and the narrator's like, "Oh no, this isn't the Stanley Parable. There's an entire game here. It's not just a button that says 8." So, all right, now we will go ahead and. Back to this, and I'll keep restarting the game. Stanley's tiny pencil. Actually, it's going to be called the last ever sequel. Stanley Parable 6 is the last ever sequel. A door to telephone. All right, everybody, get ready for the long-awaited sequel. It's time for the Stanley Parable 8. We're gonna call it... Okay, we're gonna call it Stanley Parable 8. Scary Baby. Well, I'm sad it's not pink. But let's see if there's anything different. Yes! Yes! Yes!
Hold on. What's this?
8, 8, 8, 8, 8.
The Stanley Parable 8?
8.
No. This doesn't look right at all.
8.
The Stanley Parable
8.
takes place in an
8.
office building. There are doors and branching paths. This is just
8.
a button that says 8.
8.
Where did the Stanley
8.
Parable go?
8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8.
Included the demo, but only the most
I'm
important
looking
part.
around and I
Yes.
really
8.
can't find the game anywhere. No boss's office or mind control facility or any of that. Literally just this 8 button. And what's worse
That's
is that
from-
you seem to
that's
be
from
having
the
a better
press
time
release
with this
episode.
nonsense game than with the story I wrote for
8.
you. I'm actually
8.
a little insulted.
8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8.
Well, I don't know what happened to
8.
the Stanley Parable or what the
8.
8 button is, but apparently
8.
you're having a riveting time with it.
8.
And frankly, I don't even
8.
want to pander to someone who
8.
finds this enjoyable. So with
8.
that, I guess just
8.
go ahead and enjoy the Stanley Parable 8.
8, 8,
This is the best
8.
Stanley Parable game, bar none.
8,
The best.
8,
So if you go into the epilogue and tell him
8.
to stop doing the sequels, does it just
8.
stay at the sequel or does it like
8.
reset?
8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8.
It goes back to 2. Okay,
8.
gotcha.
8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8,
All right.
8,
Well then,
8,
I
8.
guess
8, 8.
that's the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. So, my thoughts about it. I don't know whether or not the numbering resets. You tell him you want to keep doing sequels again. Okay, gotcha. First, I admire the absolute effort they went to effectively remix the entire game with bucket option. To remix the whole thing and just make the difference be bucket. Like, I'm baffled. It's honestly incredibly baffling, and it all still ended up being amazing, which is, you know, insane. To the bucket, yeah, the commitment to the bucket gag, yeah. I didn't expect the bucket to like take such a central role in it. I've got the Steam reviews pulled up next to me. And it's kind of hilarious. Gotta say. There's one guy who's like, "Oh, the new endings are barely there," and blah 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 blah. And at this point, the game has become so self-referential and meta that negative reviews just don't make any sense. They've effectively made negative reviews of their game completely redundant. So that's pretty impressive in its own right. Like, I definitely wasn't expecting the bucket gag to be the primary focus of it. Or for it to be, can you take any negative review seriously? I think not. No, like, legitimately. Like, listen to this conclusion to this review. So, honestly, considering that the new content doesn't really know what it's doing and mainly just waters down the experience, and everything else that has been changed has been made worse, except for the I have to just side tangent here. The Firewatch and Rocket League game swaps are beautiful. I love them. I actually think that I have an unpopular opinion, even among others that don't like this version of the game. Play the original. Ignore Ultra Deluxe entirely. I think it just adds bloaty content and waters down existing parts of the game. You will have a better experience with the 2013 release than with this one, even if you're missing some extra content, and especially after factoring in the price difference. It's a no-brainer, I think. I really did want to like this, but I was just very overwhelmed and disappointed in the end. Oh well, absolutely do recommend the original version though. Go play it. Go play that if you haven't. Every single word of that conclusion is just invalidated by the game itself. Like, the new content knows exactly what it's doing. And you just proved it by creating this negative review of the game. Like, I don't know how you could negatively review this game, because it's just such a redundant exercise. It's insane. Like, they have like intellectually played everyone who would review this game in a negative light. It's amazing. It's no wonder this game took so long to engineer. They had to invent time travel to do it. Yeah, really. It's hilarious. Man, I hate how Stanley Parable 2 added collectibles. It's such a tired practice and obviously has no role in the Stanley Parable. Obviously not. Makers had to invent flawless predictive psychology, then master it. Yeah, really. And like, what's amazing is like all the people who are talking about this are also proving the commentary that the game is trying to push about people just wanting new endings and everything. And that's the apparent main criticism of this, is that they aren't satisfying with the actual more like greater amount of endings. Which, no, there aren't more paths to those endings. There are more endings, but also the game is aware of that. So, like, it's such a cyclical, interesting, mindfucky kind of loop. And I totally expect this exact type of thing from Crows at this point. Like, at this point, that's what you're in. That's what you're in it for. This is what you're in a Crows game for. Like, sure, there's a few new endings in the style we expect, but those aren't the point. Nah. Yeah, absolutely classic Crows, yeah. Like, you play it for this. Yeah, exactly. For the journey we just underwent. Yeah. And honestly, at first I feel unsatisfied by the fact that there isn't a culmination that then goes back into the cyclical loop. We kind of had that by collecting all the figurines, but it ended up leading into the cyclical sequels. Oh, I will, don't worry. And at first I'm like, but, you know, I accept it. I accept that. The end is never the end. So, like, sure. So that was great. That was honestly pretty great.
8.
So, one other thing I want to do. Apparently, is there... that was the true original, or yeah, the true original of the game too, where you couldn't unlock the button heaven again. Yeah. Okay, so... No, that doesn't work anymore? Okay, in the original Stanley Parable, if you typed secret before you pressed credits, there was a ridiculous song that would play. I guess it's just not in this. That's fine. Scary baby. Well, I'd say that's the end of this. This was a good stream. This was a good revisit. Hopefully I'll have a schedule for continued streams. Figure out some games I want to play. I honestly have been thinking about going back to Darksiders 2 because I never did finish that on stream, and I love that game. Yeah, I will. The Discord server will be the first place you hear about a new schedule. Yeah. So keep an eye out in there, and we'll figure something out soon. So yeah, thank you all for watching. Hold on a second. Messed up my thing. There we go. It's supposed to bounce up there, but it's alright. But yeah, we'll see you all later. Bye-bye, everybody.